everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Reed Makes, and welcome to Card Making Wednesday, right as my dog is scratching himself. Awesome. So we are live card making, and today we're going to make cards that we are truly thankful for. So all cards that have to do with being thankful and Thanksgiving and getting in the mood of just thank you. So we're going to be using Prickley, Pear stamps and dies, and welcome to the show. All right, so we have a fun day ahead. Let me flip over and show you guys the fun cards that we're going to make today. We're going really pretty. This one, okay, I'm going to give you a little heads up. I'm 30 minutes late going live, and I didn't quite get that card 100% done because my son came home sick. He called me and he's like, "Mom, I don't feel good. I threw up at school." So kind of threw my morning a little bit off and my prep time, and you know, it happens, life happens, but we will make it together. I know the plan, but that's why it wasn't done. But take a look at the other ones. They're so pretty. I absolutely love these. I love anything with floral flowers. And this one's going to have a little bit of some floral with it too. But look, we got some foil action happening here. And we also have these other beautiful, this one's really cool. Look at this. It opens up and it's so simple. I love cards that kind of have a big wow factor. This one's going to have another element on it, but I already love the way that it's opening. This is one of probably my easiest fun folds, and I just love the big wow factor to it. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with the floral cards, but before I get too far into today, there's a really cool special that is going on at Prickley Pear Stamps. I believe she has it activated. We chatted about it last week. I forgot to double check, but there is a buy one, get one die for free if you buy the set. So either stamp that you purchase, and we'll show you the stamp in a minute, you get the die for free, which is pretty awesome. Okay, hello. We got some awesome people on. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so let's do the pretty floral one first. Let's jump into that one because that's like one of my favorites. And then we'll jump into the other ones. So for this card, we're going to be using a craft cardstock base. Here we go. And it's just a standard fold. And then I just started pulling cards. I kind of went from, this was my method to my madness. I pulled a patterned paper pack that I have that I love. And I'm like, this just gives me the vibe for autumn, and just look at the beautiful colors in here. And so from this was my launching point. And I love the copper. And then that was the launch for the rest of the cards. So sometimes you kind of need an inspiration of a color tone. And that was where all these cards went from. So then I just picked out a beautiful brown that I thought would go well. So this was all coppers and browns and kind of creams in those tones. But one of the papers from that paper pack. So let's go ahead and stick those on. These are just matted down. So this is an A2 size card at 5.5 by 4.25. So when I do my first mat, we have 5 by 4, no, 5.25 by 4. And this one is 5 by 3 3/4. I know it's a lot of numbers, but it's just down by 1/4 inch. And I got to give an amazing shout out. We got Amanda on, we have Wendy, we have Danielle, I Talk Atlanta girl. Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? A little bit of a shocker of my son coming home, but you know what? It happens. Apparently there's a stomach bug going around, but you know, there's nothing big happening this weekend in his agenda. So I'm not too worried about it. Hey, Becky. Hello, hello. All right, so we're just putting our mats down. I'm using my Xyron Mega Runner. I love this thing. I actually went back just for grins and giggles. I went back because I was running out of adhesive before I got some new adhesive in to refill for this guy. And I pulled out my old ATC, which is that big pink tape runner. And I used to use it all the time before I started using my Xyron. And it got annoyed, like the tape kept unrolling. I don't know. I got really frustrated with the thing and I got really annoyed. So I went back because I finally got more adhesive in. Just, it's one of those funny things. It's funny how you get used to something and you're just really, really into it. Okay, next we have a couple of banners. And so I grabbed some of that beautiful foil that was in the pack. And that is just gonna get lined up here. And I just kind of eyeball it. I don't ever like going straight in the middle because I feel like it cuts the card in half and it's too hard. So I always just go a little bit south of the center. And I like to line, if I ever do a border like this, I like to line it so it's with the widest mat, not with the narrowest one, I feel. Or you could go all the way to the full length of the card. I think that could work too. I recapped back into my craft. So I'm pulling the craft color back out, but I had enough separation between the back layer and this layer. And the stamps are coming from the same stamps that we got the leaves from. So this is, again, one of those amazing stamp sets where you have all these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pieces. Hi, Rita. Hello, Donna. So we have all these gorgeous leaves here. So on this card, I used the swirly leaf, which one did I use? I use this one right here. So this leaf is right there, and there's a little poking out leaf right there, which is this guy. And I just stamped it with a dark brown. It was the espresso brown, as I have dye sticking to me. I did espresso brown on craft. And for this card, we're going to die cut them together. I used this word one, and it's got words like appreciate, grateful, thankful, blessings, friendship, family. I love all the terms in there. And then the other one has the beautiful wheat. So those are the two. And then the stamps, I did many thanks, which is in this one right here. There's tons of sentiments on here. Thinking of you, thank you, thankful, sorry, thank you. I'm grateful for you. I can't talk apparently today. Fall harvest, grateful for you, which is the one I pulled up for this card. Give thanks and happy Thanksgiving. So definitely hitting all those autumn vibes, that we have the glimmerest of a little bit of fall happening here because it's starting to get cool. I think it's 62 in the morning. Oh, it's so nice. So the cool thing about these stamp sets is that both of these stamp sets, since both the big and the small leaves are the same size, one die fits all of it. So here is the dies that go with that. So I have the small leaf, and this is that really cool, if you guys have not seen this yet, this is that really cool magnet that has a stand that you can put all of your dies on there when you're not using them. And I actually have one here that I need to put on so I don't lose it, doesn't get lost in my shuffle. And they just fly on there. Holds them great. Does an awesome job. I actually have one more I need to put on there too. And I feel like I use it a ton more. It's not just like an on-screen to try and like promote something. It really has turned into one of my favorite tools because it is such a lifesaver. I used to use those flat, just square like mats that you would get. Sometimes stamps would come on a magnetic sheet, but I like this better because number one, it's a lot more magnetic. It sticks them. Two, it also is vertical. So it just gives me more room to groove. All right, so we're going to die cut these out. Here we go. A little bit of washi tape to make sure they don't go anywhere and move around on me. All right, so here is my little mini die cutter. Got to get my plates which stuck behind me, of course. Way out of the way. There's two. Here's me rummaging around. I got buried back behind. There we go. There's three. And this one I use, this is my mini maker. I love this thing because it comes just a little bit wider. I've been using it for about 3 years now and love it. It comes with that metal plate, which I think just gives a little bit of a better cut. So pass that through. I know everybody guys like those magic mats and stuff. I feel like because I have that metal plate, my plastic never warps because it's the metal and I just flip it around and it takes the brunt of the job. So I love my mini maker. It's awesome. It does the job great. And they just popped right out. Ta-da! All right, so now I'm going to put these on here again so I do not lose. I'm putting them on the magnetic thing so I don't lose them. All right, so now we're going to start building. So I've got my two leaves. I did already die cut with the same leaf, that beautiful copper. I did another leaf in that copper. I didn't stamp it, I just cut it out. And then I have all these gorgeous flowers. Look at them. This is from a company called I Love Roses. I forgot to tag it. I forgot to link it in the directions, but I will go back and link it when we are done. And I just thought they were so pretty. I mean, they just fit with the colors. So for this one, I picked, I think it was the only one like that. It had, that little center to it. So I thought maybe this time we would do a different one and maybe pull, what do you think about this one? I think I like this guy. We're going to do 3 flowers. And just the snips that you would use if you have your stamps or the dies that are stuck together, just use your same snips and snip them off. And then we'll do a little guy. And I'll leave that together for right now. And then let's pull maybe a dark chocolate. Oh, let's do this one. No, I did that one the last one. You guys tell me as I'm getting everything prepped. Should I do this dark chocolate or should I do this dark chocolate? I think I like the dark chocolate together with it. Or I could pull in that. So I don't know, this is more like a lily, but it's a dark chocolate lily, or should I go with milk chocolate? It's funny how I'm relating it to food because it is. So So I think these are our options. It's either going to be the dark chocolate lily, milk chocolate lily, or the dark chocolate rosette. Leave a comment in there about which one you think we should use while I'm getting this prepped. All right, so because we've got so many elements going on here, we're also going to tie a ribbon. I feel like it just adds a little something with a little ribbon, a little twine in there. Something about fall and twine gets it works for me. I don't know. All right, so nice big batch of twine. Sorry, my hand's too close to the camera. So a nice big batch. I'm going to fold it over. And I did way too much, but that's okay. Fold it over. Milk chocolate lily. All right, first person mentioned it. That's what we're going to do. Milk chocolate lily. There we go. Oh, there we go. And then, so these are our 3 flowers we're going to use for this card. So we're just doing a little bit of a different tone. This one I went more dark. This one I'm going more light. But you can do whatever you like. So there's beautiful flowers available. I know Prima Flowers has flowers. You can make your own flowers. So here is our, hey, Sharon. Sharon's the owner of Prickley Pear. There's where all the stamps and dies came from. Large twine, and we're just going to make a bow. So bunny ear. I always go bigger than I need so I can see what I'm doing. Bunny ear. Okay. Ooh, you got to stick them together. And then because I've got double going on here, you got to be careful to pull through. Pull through, and then make your little knot. There we go. Now, I don't want to make it too big, but I don't want to make it too small because it's going to get tucked in right here. And this is a card where it's going to have dimension. I don't mind it being a bit bigger. It's totally cool. We're going to cut the bottom. And truthfully, I kind of like the size of that. Oh, let's go with a little bit bigger. Why not? Just for fun. Now, because we've got lots of elements going on here, we're going to use a good tacky glue, especially because we're dealing with some flowers. We got some heftiness on this. So let's get some weight added. It just helps stick everything together. To separate out the colors, we're going to go with the foil one first. So this is the leaf die. We're going to tack that in the back first. And then we're going to go the opposite direction with a dark chocolate stamp leaf with all those beautiful words. But you know what? This works for any of the leaves. So maple leaf stamp set. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. There's a deal. Let me put that up on the screen, guys. There is a deal. Look at this. So since there's 2 stamp sets, I just had them. We are dealing with both these stamp sets. I love it how we're live and there's a deal. So both these stamp sets, if you get either of these stamp sets, you get the die for free. And the die, remember, it came with both the maple leaf and then also with an oak leaf. So that comes together. I have it. There's a package that it goes with, obviously, but I just don't have it right now. So if you got this one, you get the die. If you get this one, you get the die. Obviously, if you get both stamps, you also get the die. So that's pretty cool. I love that. So next one, next one, we're going to put this leaf here. I'm going to hold off on this little guy for a minute. All right. Now we're going to do the big flower first. So a little bit of glue. Actually, we're going to do the bow first. Should have had this thing upside down while I was waiting. Whoopsie daisies. It's okay. Put this here. There we go. Flip that over. And I might trim a little bit. I want to see how the whole thing comes together. You know, it depends on how much. It's too much. We're going to pull just a little too big. Sometimes I can't tell how big it is, but you can always trim. There we go. There, just a little bit. All right. Oh, there's another deal. It's like Deal Central. So in addition to what we just talked about with that deal, there's also a buy 3, get 1 clear stamp sale through Sunday night only. That is awesome because it's World Card Making Day this weekend. Dun, dun, dun. I love that. I love, they're so awesome. World Card Making Day. I'm part of a really fun hop, so be ready for that. I'll be announcing that and emailing all that out. But yeah, there's so many fun things happening. I'm going to leave a little bit of a stem on this one here. Just trimming it off, little snippies, and then a little bit of a stem on this guy here, not too much, because we're going to do a little tucking method where it kind of gets shoved in there. There we go. Got to get it cut off. So let's do the larger flower first. So I just love this because as soon as I saw there was leaves, I'm like, it's not just a normal leaf. It's like leaves with character and with just its beauty. I'm just going to tuck this in there just like that. And then we're going to put this little guy right there. And then I think I'm going to come in with, and I liked where I placed it over there. I'm going to layer it on top so you can see it because it'll pop off of that foil. So let's add this on there too. There we go. So that goes there. And then our little flower right there. Whoops. And there, look how fun. And because there's so much happening on that card, you do need to have a little bit of a thicker glue and like a little bit more of a strong glue for that card. But look how fun they are. And this is just one of many, many, many ideas. At Prickley Pear, if you go to the website and you click on the product, you will see at the bottom, there's lots of ideas for each of the stamps, the dies, or suggestions that the design team has made. So you have a plethora of design ideas, including the ones that we've made in this video. So don't forget, these are the buy one and you get the die for free. But you could get both and still get the die for free. It works too, because the same die works for both stamp sets. So it's just a matter of what stamps in that set you really enjoy, or you could get both and then you can mix and match. And I love that. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more bang for my buck because I have a lot more options and it's only one die, which is fabulous. All right, so that is our first card. Look at that. I love that. And you could totally change up the colors. I went with all like browns, but think about it if you like want to add a pop of teal in here, if you wanted to, like, there's so many options for color choices on this. You could definitely pull in some more oranges or yellows or just kind of have a ton of fun. Okay, next, we're going to do this cool one here. Look at this guy. And it's really shiny because it's foil. So again, I pulled the foil that was from that package. And it's so cool. So for this one, oh, so here's a good suggestion. Sorry, just popping this up on here, right here. It must add four stamps to the cart to see the savings on the special. I think it's automatically, and then it pops in. Okay, so for this card, you are going to start off. Got to get, oh, where's all my pieces for this one? I believe it is, I had all my stuff organized just off camera. Hopefully I didn't yank it somewhere. Okay, these are all for this card. Where is my, no, I had it right. Okay, here we go. This is the pieces we need. I pre-cut everything. I'm like, where did they go? Where did those elements go? They were right there the whole time. Okay, for this one, there are a couple of measurements, and I did forget to put the measurements down at the bottom before we went live. So I will place them after we get done. I will go back and add them to, and there's glue on my desk. That's going to bug me. Got to get that glue off. So only down part that I don't like glue is because I always end up squishing it around somewhere. All right, so paper trimmer, grab your card. We're going to start off with just your normal standard. This is 8.5 by 5.5, right? So you take your you take your normal cardstock 8.5 by 11 sheet and cut it in half. Fold this in half. And that gives you your first crease. So just like any normal card that you would open up. Okay. Now you're going to want to get a pencil, and I have my measurements right here. You're going to want to measure the halfway point on the front panel. So this is my front panel. You want to measure halfway. So I use my paper trimmer for all of this, for my measuring and also for all my cutting. And since this is measuring 5.5 in length, halfway is 2 3/4. So I'm just going to put a little tick mark right there. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny tick mark. Super simple. We're then going to go in and we are going to cut. And this is why the crease was really important to know where my halfway mark is. We're going to cut a diagonal from here to here. So we're going to cut this part off. And then we're going to do the same thing, cutting this direction off. So we're going to turn that into that V that we have right there. Okay, so start from that one top corner down to this corner. There we go, corner to corner, and cut. And save this, don't throw this away. Now we're going to go the other way and cut the other side to finish that triangle. This is why I also like a guide wire with my paper trimmers, because I can get really detailed cuts. I can see exactly where that piece is here and here. That wire is fantastic. And cut. So now my card looks like a giant V. And I have two little pieces, two little triangles. Save those triangles because that's what's going to give us our direction. I saw this card. This one came. If you guys don't know, I host a card swap. It is a ton of fun. And partly why I do the card swap is to give myself inspiration, because I always looking for card ideas because I love them. Two, to give everybody else inspiration. So in one, I do videos on the cards as well. So, and also you get the cards back so you can see them in person. It's all about inspiration and the love of card making. So if you're interested, it's Erin Reed makes card swaps and inspirations Facebook group. You can also check it out on my website at erinreedmakes.com. Check out my blog. There's a blog post about the card swaps because the Christmas one is going on right now. So this one came as part of that card swap, and I fell in love with the design. So I took the idea from this card to make the one I'm making now. So that's the point. Now we need to make the other mats. So I have already also pre-cut the foil for the back, which just stays. Now we need to cut the pieces that are going to go on the top. So same thing. Now this one I've cut down to be 1/4 inch smaller all the way around. So this one measures to be 4 by 5 1/4. So we need to put a little tick mark on the halfway, which is 2 5/8. So make sure that's right there. 2 5/8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's just one more tick past the 2 1/2. That's 5/8. I don't know what this is in centimeters. I'm sorry. And then again, we're going to go from that top corner to here. Ta-da. And then from this corner, make that V again. Basically just doing the exact same thing from that corner to here. And so you get your 2 little triangles, and then you get your big middle triangle, right? And that's what's going to cover, we're matting for this. And then these little guys we just cut are the mats that go, got to flip it the right way. Here we go. That go like this. Okay. So far, so easy. It's paper. I love that. It's so cool. Look at that. It's paper. Now, the last thing we need to do is when you open your card, you want to have a place to write. So we need to add a white space because this is this big panel that fits here. So we need to have a space in here that you can write on. So same size. Here we have the same size. This is the 5 1/4 by 4. So it's the same measurement cut as we did this pattern paper right here. Come in. So if you missed it the first time, here you go again. And I'll put the measurements when we're done. This is at 2 5/8 right there. Okay. And then we're going to take this corner to here. There we go. And then the other corner to that same point. It's just cutting. That's all there is to it. It's just cutting. Okay, so now let's start putting some pieces together. Let's do the big stuff first. All right, so let's take the big triangle and it goes on there. That's that pattern paper that we initially had. Let's take a look at our original one here. So our big pattern paper. This goes on the front. So just get your adhesive, stick it down, pick whatever pretty color you like. This is a great way to use up some of your beautiful papers that you have that are probably in your stash. Had to pause for a moment. Hey, Cordelia. You don't want to let your boss know that you're doing that. Okay, so next we're going to do the inside. Let's get some of the big pieces out of the way, right? So big inside. My suggestion to you, if you make this card, whatever pattern paper you put on the front, do a very different pattern paper on the back, just to show you what she did. And if you go light, go dark, or like light and then bold. For this one, she did a dark one and a light on the bottom, but they're very opposite kind of color tones, so they really stand out. So they're just a little bit different. Boss can wait. I'm on. I love that. I take president. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just totally teasing. Okay, now we have our white triangle that we cut that goes right here. And that's the part you can write on. She did hers a little differently. Instead of doing a big white triangle, she took another sheet of pattern paper and cut her 2 triangles and then did it this way. I just found this piece to be a little bit simpler, but whatever floats your boat, however you want to do that. So let's go ahead and stick that down. And again, you don't have to do white. You can make your card. I always feel like white card base is just the easiest to go with. Make sure you measure. Make sure this goes all the way up to the top, because this is like a little hidden piece, because it looks like the entire card is covered in foil until you open it up, right? It's like that little woo kind of thing. All right. And I didn't obviously not come up with this design. It's an awesome design though. So I figured I would share it. There's hardly any new card designs out there. They're all been repeated. Okay. So now we have all the little triangles. We have the triangles that we cut from here. We have the triangles that we cut from the pattern paper. And then we have the 2 little triangles that we cut from this white piece. We don't need these. These are just extras. Okay. This paper pad is ancient. I have had this. They used to put the years on them. Maybe they still did. Yeah, 2016. It's not super ancient, but I doubt if you are going to find this. Usually they don't tend to have paper pads in action after a while, but it's called Classy Copper. I've had this in my stash and I love it, and I just never pulled it out to use it. They have some great inspiration on the front package, but it's die cuts with a view. I'm pretty sure I got this at Joann's a long time ago, and I just went through my stash and I was looking at it going, ooh, I should make something with that. So that's the paper pack. And isn't it pretty? I just love the colors. I just think, and it just somehow it clicked with me that this is autumn. I don't know why. I don't know how I got autumn out of pink and green, but I did. Probably something to do with the copperish color in there, which is jiving with the copper. I don't know. All right, so now we're going to take the larger white pieces, which is what we originally cut from the front panel, and then our pattern paper, and we're going to mat them. Basically, lay your paper down the way that it, so if you do it this way, look, you've got the wrong angle, right? So you want to make sure that it lines up the same way. There is many variations to how you could do the front of this, but there's no wrong. This is just how I did it. So I'm just going to show you. But if you wanted to play around, so once we have these, we're just basically inverting them and turning it. But if you wanted to turn this piece the other way, so now, hang on. No, it doesn't matter. You turn it, as long as you don't do both the same direction, whatever. We're just gonna, I don't want to try and recreate and rethink something right now. So if you just see what I'm doing, I'm laying these out because these fit here and then these fit on top. That way I don't put them on the wrong direction and have two face the same way, meaning I don't have two triangles that I'm putting the mats on going that way. I'm doing them opposite directions. I hope that was as clear as mud because I confused myself as I was saying it. Just make sure your triangles are opposite directions. So your right triangle pieces are not facing the same way. There you go. Ah, too many words and too much thought. And, I confused the crap out of myself. So basically you're recreating those two pieces that were there, right? Okay. Okay, so now we are going to layer these. So the best way I did this is I looked here and I thought, okay, I want to have it touch here, here, and up in this corner. And then here, here, and up in that corner. If you think about the card, you have to have the card be able to open, right? So you cannot put any adhesive in this space or this space. So it doesn't matter which one I do first. Basically, you're just doing the point that comes to the top. Only adhesive there. And again, we're going to match all three corners. That way you know it fits. And you can change it around. This is just how I did it. So touches here, touches here, touches here. And I need a little more adhesive right there because apparently I didn't put enough on. And then same thing here. I'm just see if I do it this way, it sticks out the top. So I've hit two of the three corners and it sticks out. Doesn't quite work. So change it, angle it, and hit here, here, and here, and it fits within the A2 size card. And then I'm only putting adhesive in this tall, skinny part. Only in the tall, skinny part. And then angle it up again. I'm going to hit here, here, and I need to pull back. If you hit all three corners, you know it's going to work. And then you know it's also even, that your triangles are even and they're not all wonky. And that is how you put the front of the card. It's really cool. And look, it opens different. It's the same kind of opening. It just looks different, and the cuts, and I don't know, something about it. It hit me and I was like, ooh, I like that. And sometimes that's all you need. You just need to have that, ooh, I like that moment. So then I went through and I love, love, love these pumpkins for a couple of reasons. So this is another awesome set where you get multiple, you get the die, you get two dies. You get the little leaf and the pumpkin. And then you also get there's two different sets of pumpkins that you can get. And they're both Halloween and they're autumn, which I think is just beautiful, right? So you can get like, here's a Halloween, and they're kind of intermixed. It's not like one's Halloween and one's autumn. They're kind of like in between everywhere. So for this card, I grabbed that stamp right there, which looked very autumny to me. I love it. I will have to say, because I did a lighter color ink on this, because it was a very, what color did I pick? Oh, I did almond. So I did this almond color for that stamp. I did about 4 passes of it to really make sure it was nice and saturated and I could see it. And I did it on white just so it could be really, really obvious. For this one, I popped out and we're going to do this one. And again, because there's a lot of color, and I think it had to do with my ink pad too, I did about 4 or 5 passes until I was really happy. And I did it in my Misty to make sure I didn't mess up on the coloring on that. All right, so love these. And there's 3 pumpkins here, plus like there's a little leaf. There's a really pretty little leaf, a little leaf up here. You've also got some Halloween-y vibes. And this one is purely 2 little leaves and then a whole bunch of pumpkins, 6 pumpkins. And I just think they are the coolest thing ever. Love that set. And this could be part of that buy 3, get 1 free deal, which is pretty awesome because those are just the coolest stamps. I love them. Next, I went through and I did a craft, and you'll see why. It just pops a little bit better. And then I did the foil out of these really cool ones. They have like this just kind of cool. I've been using them a lot lately and I love them. It's a scallop circle nesting die. And then the inside is actually like a full circle. I just love that they have a little bit of some interest. We're actually going to layer the 2 together. And this is why I did this. So initially I stuck that on there and it was fine, but I felt like it was just a tiny, tiny bit flat. And as soon as I and then I off-centered it just to barely see it, something about that little hint almost gave it like a shadow, what made it pop a whole lot better. And I originally was going to do this. And I was like, well, that looks kind of like there's no other craft anywhere in here. It looked weird. So that's why I was like, okay, I want to do the foil again, but it just looked flat. So sometimes just adding that tiny, tiny bit of a layer makes a huge difference. You never know. So I'm going to place these together and I just want to offset them. I just want to see the tiniest, tiniest bit of that craft paper popping through. And then we're going to place our pumpkin on top. Whenever you're doing layers with like little pieces on top of big pieces, because I call this like a dark color, have a light color go on top. So because this is so light, you can really see it and it really pops. And then this goes here in the center. And then if you remember in that die set with the pumpkin, there is that little bitty leaf right there. So I just took some green paper. There was some green paper that was in the kit, in that pattern paper, and I just die cut out of green. Didn't stamp it, I just die cut it out of the paper. And just pop that in here, right there. And then we're gonna get in with our twine again, because again, I love twine. It felt like it was missing something, like the 2 pieces, it couldn't tie it together very well. I was like, well, let's do a tiny little bow. And this time we're just doing the little tiny, tiny bow. I know I always cut way more than I need. So I can always start with bigger ears. So make the bunny ears. The reason why I tie my bows this way is because then I get my ears facing upward and my tails face down. So when you tighten it, you get a bow. Instead of having it look like this, where you have, a tail, an ear, a tail, an ear, it turns out when you do the bunny ear method, you get both your ears up top. However you want to do that. All right. And then we'll tighten it here. There we go. And then my tails are too long, so I'm going to trim out my tails. I actually want to make this even smaller. It's a small pumpkin. It's not going to have a giant bow. There we go. Get rid of all that mess. And it's just going to go there. Actually, I could go a little less on my tail. I always like to kind of place it on there and decide, okay, how. And that to me looks like it kind of fits the right vibe for size. And of course, I didn't have my glue ready. Because I've got a bigger element, I want to put something that's got a little more of a stick. This is mixed media glue from Beacon. They also have a 3-in-1 glue that works really well. So come on. Should have had the glue ready, but of course I didn't. Doofus me. Still not there. Okay. I am not going to waste time. It's going to sit there. It's going to do its thing. I'll be back in a minute. In the meantime, let's go back for everybody who missed it. If you missed earlier when we got on, we made these other cards earlier. So as soon as I'll be ready, it'll be ready too. And look how gorgeous these cards are. I absolutely love them. This is using a very similar stamp set that we did to the pumpkins, but they're leaves. And there's a beautiful set. And with the leaf die, there is a buy one. If you buy any of either of the 2 leaf sets, so here's the 2 leaf sets, which is where we got the leaves in the back, you get the leaf and leaf die set for free, which I don't have in the package, but you get the die set for free if you buy either of these. Don't have to buy both, just buy one and the die gets thrown in for free. And then there's the buy 3, get 1 free. So if you missed this, you can always go back on the replay and watch these from the beginning. And then we have one more card that we're going to do together. Okay, I bet it's ready. Look at that. Just be a little more patient and the glue will be ready. All I needed was a little patience. Here we go. Ta-da! All right. All that metallic part, isn't it pretty? Something about metallic, that little extra pop really does make your cards kind of go that extra mile. So isn't that fun? And even with this one, it's just a little hint of that metallic just kind of popping in there. It's really cool. Okay. Next card we're going to do, we have mostly done. Let me show you what I've got so far, and then we're going to finish the second one, but I'll take you up to this point. So we're going to start from this part. So again, same paper stack, and this is the part that we're going up to here. Right? All right. So we have our card base, which is our A2 size card base. To make this cool fold, it's really simple. If you look, this is the same standard size for card. We're going to fold this in half like we would normally fold a card. There we go. Standard fold. Fold this guy back. And that's the card. So hard, right? All right. And then again, I got this inspiration from my card swap. This beautiful card was in the card swap, and I thought it was absolutely gorgeous. I thought it was so beautiful. And we're going to basically be mimicking this concept. Okay. So when I saw this, I remembered that we have this, or Prickly Pear has this gorgeous stamp set. And it's these. Look at these. Aren't they cool? And it follows. And I was like, oh, there's that pattern. And it's so cool. And it's got and it's autumn. So that's what we went and did, is I went and stamped that. And then there is a die set that goes along with it as well that follows along. And it's got these scallop borders. One of them actually says happy birthday. Here's another one that's a stitched border along, like a dotted stitched. And for this card, I just did the straight cut. So I just did, this is the straight cut, and it follows along with the curve of the stamp. Whoops, that's right there. All right. For the one that we're doing today, or the one that we're doing together, it had a scallop border. So I got to pull all the things off. So I already went ahead and die cut this, because then it wouldn't be all this stuff in the way. And there's a big machine I have to pull out because I can't die cut that really small. And so the scallop border, it's wanting to stick. I'm trying to get this off, and it's like, no, do not let go. Like, I'm having the hardest time. I need to hold this to get this guy off, because it's really not wanting to let go of it. Strong little magnet, I swear. Sucker is stuck on there. I can't talk. So here is the scallop, and I just basically laid it along there. I stamped first, laid that along, and then die cut that. And it's just this little element right here. Right here. And then now we're going to add that border. So I've decided to go ahead and pull in. That's what I forgot to die cut ahead of time. We'll have to do another one. Actually, we really don't need that. I'm going to show you the fake out. I forgot. That's why I have a little one. For this card, I actually cut the entire back border, but we don't need to do that. We just need to do this little piece right here. So we're going to glue down our craft background. I'll explain why I thought I screwed up, and then I'll explain why I didn't screw up. And there's an easier way to do it, so you don't have to waste so much paper. We're going to mat the inside of our card, just like this. Now, initially, I was like, oh no, I need to have the full sheet of paper so I know where to line this up to where it fits. And I am actually going to trim this down, because I did cut it too big on purpose. Let's go with that. I want to have more of the border showing. So we're going to trim a little bit more of this on the back side. And I also created an extra layer of a mat. So I think I got to go down 1/4 inch. I got to go to 5. So we're going to trim that off. And then I think this guy also needs to be trimmed to 5, because I made it smaller. I wanted to create a double mat. So if you notice, I've created a double mat there. Initially, I just had the foil and I didn't put the craft in there. I really wanted to have that extra border of a color. So this goes in the background here. This has to go all the way up to the edge, and then this piece goes here. Initially, what I did is I cut for this card, I cut the foil all the way to the edge and then just laid it over, but I'm running out of the foil because I use so much of it. So this is your way to kind of fake it. You just got to do your best to make sure it lines up. So we're going to put our adhesive here to make sure I get that nice border. I did make a little boo-boo smudge. No one's going to know. Who's going to know? No one's going to know. And then I just put adhesive on that. And then we're going to fill this in to make sure I hit that border. This is the way you can fake it because you're never going to see it going all the way to the edge. You just need it showing up right here, right? And then pop this open and add adhesives. That way this sticks down. And that's kind of like your way of faking it, but to make sure that it fits all the way around and that your borders are equal. Instead of just judging it, you could also get out like a ruler and line it up that way. All right, so now we've got a couple of panels. I loved, this was also in that paper pack because it's got that little bit of foil. And it says the word like favorite, little things every day, hooray. Still kind of fits within the vibe of thankful. So I loved that one. And then when the card is closed, because I had a mat here, I wanted to continue to have the mat on the front as well. So that's what we're going to go with. So I've already cut down our craft. Isn't that the best cactus magnet? Oh, it's the superest best thing ever. She's got two different colors. I have the green, but there's also a teal. And it is probably right now one of my more favorite tools that I use all the time. And it really does make my card making that much better. It's awesome. Okay, so that's as far as I got. Now we're going to do the oval. She has the cutest little oval, which is this guy right here. Isn't that the best little oval? So we're going to die cut that in craft. And we need two of them because we're going to finish both cards. Usually I have all this done, but my kid was sick today. I got a call. He's got band early in the morning. So we have to leave the house at 6:30 and he goes to band. So let's going to cut our oval. We got to cut two of them. And he finished band practice. And apparently towards the end of practice, he threw up. And policy at the school is you can't stay at school if you've thrown up, which I totally understand. It's an automatic, you have to go home. School hadn't even started yet because it was just finishing band practice. So I'm just layering up my dies. So, you know, having to go get him, and it was after all my other kids had gone to school because high school starts the latest in our district. Elementary is the first one, and then middle school, and then they stagger it for buses. All right, that is not going to stay on there. So we're going to put some washi tape on here. There we go. Now you'll stay. You won't wiggle around on me. There we go. Dun-da-da. She's got the cutest new glue holders. They are the best. All right, so here is one, and let me do the other one real fast. So needless to say, because my kid was sick, I had everything kind of in my head, and I had a lot of stuff prepped. I just, that extra hour of having to get him home, make sure he was okay, it just threw a wrench in my prep time, getting everything organized. And of course, as I'm getting everything, I'm like, that color doesn't look right, and changed my ideas about the different cards and different backgrounds. And initially this stamped image was also craft. Like I went through a whole lot of iterations and I didn't like them. So it happens. You know, I have ideas in my head. Doesn't mean that they are going to be 100% by the time it gets done with the card. Oh, he's fine. Yeah, there's a tummy bug. You know, it's just a little tummy bug. And he probably, it was actually a beautiful morning, but he probably just overdid it at practice. And there was apparently a few other kids that were having problems. So, but thank you for asking. And I'm talking about how like him being sick and it, you know, I'm a peanut because it affected my day, but no, he's fine. He came home. He's in high school. So he's a junior. He immediately emailed all of his teachers and said, you know, what homework can I do? He sat here, drank some water. I'm just getting all the little doodads out. I'm using my little brushy tool here to get those out. Again, normally something I do off camera, but it's okay. You guys get to see me do all the little minute details of this. And he got his homework done. His teachers were like, this is what we're doing. A lot of stuff is still kind of virtually online. Like they do stuff on paper or they have Chromebooks they bring to school. And so instead of on paper and pen that you just turn in a piece of paper, it's online and then you just hit submit. So you can still do it from home if you're sick. So he's actually not far behind at all. So, all right, now I got like confetti everywhere. Oh. We've also, because he's 16 now, and it's just because of band, he's so busy with band, and he's also working on getting his Eagle Scout. He doesn't have time for a job right now. And I'm like, well, I need an assistant. So he's actually become my back behind the scenes assistant, helping me prep things and clean things up. And, you know, hey, I need you to go put this back in storage or do this, that, and the other. All right, so similar concept to there. Here's our little oval that's going to go in the front. I just thought that when I saw this card, I immediately thought that oval would be perfect for that little oval die. And what is it called? It's called scalloped oval die. And isn't it the prettiest little oval? I love it. And I thought it was perfect for this little opening. And then we're going to stamp on that. And then we're going to add some pretty flowers. So going back to one of our other sets, we are going to, I'm going to show you guys, we're going to do a 2-for-1 deal. I love this. Scrapbook.com came out with these new sticky mats, which are fabulous specifically for this reason. So now the paper is stuck to the sticky mat. To get a little magnet on there would be a pain, especially if I wanted to come in and stamp on that. Now all I have to do is magnetize the mat. I can put the stamp where I need to, and I can double stamp both little pieces at the same time. It is fabulous. So we're going to go into our leaf die again. And we're going to do 2 little ones and way off into the corner because we're going to do some more flowers. So we're going to do give thanks. And we're just going to do it with both of these. So we got give thanks right there. And then, oops, fall harvest. No, I don't like the way that fits. Oh, there's another little guy. This is where, like, if you've got options for stamps, there's one on this one. It's nice and small, thinking of you. That would fit right there too. So when you've got options for sentiments, if you're like, this is the space I have, and because I want to put some flowers over here, then you try to find a stamp, as long as it fits within the realm, like anything that says give thanks, happy harvest, you know, fall blessings, blah, blah, blah. This is all about being thankful. That totally works. So now we're going to stamp. All right, let's make sure it didn't quite stick. Nope, I got to redo this one. There we go. There we go. See, now they're both lined up. I like where they're at. We're going to go ahead and do that dark color again, which is the espresso. A really, really juicy ink pad. And to make sure I get a really, really good clear stamp on this, I've got my little ink. It's covered in felt. It's got wood block by Prickley Pear. She's got it in blue and in red. And it's just really easy to make sure you get a good impression. And then lift up and then ta-da! Seeing thread going through little holes, and I'm stitching oh, yes, you totally could. This could be a really good stitching die. Look at that. And these guys are done. And before I forget, because I will do this first, because that's such a juicy, juicy, juicy stamp, I'm just going to wipe it clean a little bit. And then I'm going to pop it back onto the stamps before I forget, because I still have a stamp that I cannot find where it came from. And it's driving me bananas. It's okay. The stamp set's so juicy that it actually is a little bit, I don't know if you guys can see, it's still a little inky, like it's wet, and I don't want to smear it. So I've hardly ever used that stamp set, and it's just really, really, really juicy every time I use it. But it was the perfect color for what I wanted. I wanted that nice, dark, chocolate espresso-y color to work. And then this guy goes back away. Actually, let's leave that in there for now. All right. So now we have our 2 ovals. Let's build. Let's build what we're going to put on them. And we can kind of change it. So this is going to go on here. So I don't want to touch this. I already kind of smeared it. And we're going to put some flowers on this side and then the card. So we got to be careful when this sticks. We don't put any adhesive on there. So while those are going to continue to dry, we're going to grab some flowers. And we've got some pinks and some greens. I've got like this. This is only one of like 5 of these things that I have. So let's see. Can we find a pink? That's too peachy. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that one. Can I find another one like it now? It's always the hunt of like, oh, can I find a replica? Can I find a similar one or something at least the same tone of color? How's that pink? Nope. How's this pink? Nope. Now I want that one. Same one again. This one's too pink. Darn it. I want that stupid pink thing back. Okay, let's try this one. That works. They're all a little different. See, I'm just trying to match that pink tone that's in there. And then I think I'm going to go back to some of those chocolatey tones that I had. And maybe we'll just do a pear. So since this is that lily one, I'm going to do a bigger flower. So let's do, I think this chocolate would look really pretty. This is where I like to play. I just have fun. And then we're going to do this chocolate one to kind of match with the chocolate that's on the stamp, right? Ribbon through that would look really pretty too. I don't know why I have a random purple one. You fell overboard. Don't need you. Go back to where you came from. It decided to just burst out and have fun. All right, so we're going to trim off the back. There we go. I'm going to leave a little bit on this little lily-ish looking one here. There we go. And then this one we're going to do more flat. So trim off the back so it's flat. And this one again, a little stem here. I might choose to add a third one, but I think 2 is going to be fine. We'll have to see. Okay, so first we're going to stick down the oval, right? This one is more dry. Oops. You guys are chatting away. The pink isn't showing up too well on my monitor. Yeah, it's probably showing up a little. There's just like a hint of a pink on there. It's like right there. So it's that pink. It's very, 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 very faint, but it's almost white, but it's right there. There's a pink flower and a pink flower. There's just pink tones. It's the same color pink as that's on that paper. That's the same color as what's in the flowers. So, all right. So this one I'm going to drop to go about here because it kind of fits with the wave. So we're going to go there with that. Let's go ahead and add this one here. And same thing, we're going to drop it down so it kind of fits within that wave. So within that bubble. There's no wrong place to place it. When in the original one, she put it right in the middle. Because again, it kind of bubbled out right there. So it fits nicely, but just wherever you want to put it. Have fun with it. It's your card. Play with it. We're going to get it. And I got smart. I put it in here upside down. I was smarter this time. Now I want to be careful when I place these down. I don't cover up the sentiment. So we're really going to hug that other corner. So I'm just adding my glue. I haven't put real flowers on cards in a long time. And I really love flowers. They're so pretty. So let's see how just 2 looks. Maybe we'll do a third. Grab one of those other kind of like tan colored ones. I think a third one might look, finish it off. And then right there. Don't want to cover up my word. I think I need one like right in here, right there. So we're going to get one of those little tiny BBs. These little guys. We're going to grab one of those just to finish it. You recommend a whiteboard eraser to press down on with the stamping platform. Well, I have this little block thing and it's awesome. It's doing a great job. It doesn't scratch up the top and it's got a little handhold and it's fabulous. So I'm loving my piece there. It's great. I left a little stem so I can kind of come in and tuck this in here. There we go. And then just kind of shove them together. There. And I want my little lily to kind of close up a little bit. So that is the first card. Little floral spray. Let's build this guy. I got one more. Actually, I had 2 more. And I don't know why that was all folded up. Let's trim this guy up. I don't know why I think flowers. For some reason, I thought flowers and I thought autumn. Oops. I'm not adding glue to that. I'm adding glue to this. But I did. I thought pink flowers, pink paper. I didn't go traditional colors with this autumn one, which is fine. A little bit of These are thankful cards, so it doesn't have to be truly autumn. It's autumn inspired, thankfully inspired. And then there, and then the other little guy right here. And right inside there. Little, something about the 3 just looks better, I think. So there we go. Let's get all this crap out of the way. You should see my desk just off. Look how fun those are. And then it opens up. Again, not a flat card that you would be able to send in a regular envelope. So again, can you use those in an envelope? I always get asked that question whenever I make 3D cards. you would have to put it into a padded envelope. It would not fit in an ordinary envelope because that flower would get, now if you don't mind the flower getting smushed, by all means, you're more than welcome to put it in a regular envelope, but it's going to get smushed up. And I've had them sent to me and I've sent them that way. You can also hand deliver them, but it would not be able to go through the regular mail. They're two-dimensional, they're too thick with the card. So even if you did put it into a regular normal A2 size envelope that would fit that size of a card, they're going to make you have extra postage anyway. So the better way to do that kind of a card, put it into a small padded mailer, make sure it's nice and covered, or nice and protected, and mail it that way if you need to mail somebody a card that's got some dimension to it. So they look really pretty, but they are a little bit more of a pain in the butt to mail, or just hand deliver it. There's always that option too, if you can't hand deliver it, padded envelope. All right, so let's go through all the gorgeous cards we made today. And again, if you didn't like the big florals, you could also just do a flat flower right there and it would work really well as well. So we got these two gorgeous fun folds that they open up this way, and then you can write your sentiment on there. And every flap, we put a little something on there, a little oval with the stamp on there. The other card we made, this one would definitely be able to go into mail. If the bow is something that's just a little too much because you feel like that wouldn't go in the mail, you could always leave the bow off. And this is another fun one where it lifts up. Isn't that cool? I love that. It just lifts up. Such a fun card. And then again, another pretty floral spray. This time we added those gorgeous leaves in the background and just kind of kept with those kind of fun things. So just a normal size card, just playing with the front and kind of enjoying and having fun, and a couple of different colors of the flowers on there. So these are a little bit more into like the shabby chic, the glam cards, but sometimes I just really love digging into that. I used to make these cards, these like really glamorous, lots of floof, not flat cards that you'd be able to send, but very much dimensional. But when they're sitting on a mantle, man, they have a really big wow factor because it's not flat. It really does have a really pretty vibe to it. And I just think it's so, so pretty. And then this one too, because it's got that dimension, it just sits and it pops and it has all that. And see how that glue holds really well. So it's not going to fall off. I would definitely recommend a good solid, a good quality mixed media glue, A2 size glue, something like that. It works really well. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget, there is 2 offers that are going on right now. There is for the autumn, for the leaf cards. If you buy 1 leaf set, you get the die set that goes with it for free. And there's 2 different, let me put the backing on there. There's 2 different leaves. So either one, you get the die that goes for free. And there's also a buy 3, get 1 free stamp set. Put all 4 in your cart and the lowest will get deducted. It's an automatic. And that is through the end of this weekend, I believe, because it's all about card making day, which is Saturday. Saturday is National Card Making, or is it international or national? Whatever. It's card making day Saturday, which I do it all the time, but and I'm sure you guys do too, but it's going to be fun. So love the awesome deals that Prickly Pear is offering. Thank you guys again so much. Thank you everybody who has left. It's World Card Making Day. There we go. No coupon needed either for either of those discounts. Just you got to pop the items in the cart. So make sure you put the die and the stamp, and the die will get deducted. And to get the free stamp, make sure you have 4 stamps in your cart, and then the 4th one will get deducted. So no coupon needed. It's just an automatic thing. Yay! I love that. All right. So thank you guys so much. If you're watching me from Prickly Pear, please don't forget to jump over to Erin Reed Makes and subscribe. And if you're watching from Erin Reed Makes, head over to Prickly Pear's YouTube and Facebook and subscribe to them and check out all their stuff at their amazing store. Links are always down below for all the supplies that we use today. I need to go back and add those beautiful flowers. I forgot to add that, but it's I Love Roses or I Am Roses. I got it a while ago. Anyway, gorgeous stuff. Whatever flowers you have on, make your own. There's really pretty flower dyes out there. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to go check on my son. He hasn't really said much of anything because he knows I'm live, but he's probably doing just fine. I bet he's hungry now is the bigger problem. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I will see you again. Oh, by the way, no live next Wednesday. I am flying to New York for a work event. I'm going to a really cool event called the Alt Summit, which is all about women in business who own their business and how to get your business going and inspiration. And it's all people in the creative world. So hopefully I'm going to glean so much amazing information that I can bring back and like apply to what I do. And it's just a chance to go to New York. So can't beat that. So because I am flying on Wednesday, I can obviously not go live, but there'll be some other fun content. I've got lots of reels happening and I have a live happening this Saturday. And I believe it is at 3 o'clock. I have to look at my schedule. If you have not signed up for my newsletter yet, sign up for my newsletter. All that information about the big event coming up on Saturday for World Card Making Day, and also some other fun stuff. And I'll remind you guys about these coupons that are going on at Prickley Pear. Have an awesome day. Bye, everybody.